Today we are going to be exploring the parallels between Psalm 22 and the Crucifixion. This psalm opens with the phrase, my God, why have you forsaken me?" This should sound familiar, as this is the exact phrase that Jesus says on the cross in Matthew chapter 27, verse 46.
And it is actually the title of the psalm. Psalms didn't always have verses and chapter numbers. Before that, the first line of the psalm actually served as the title. So if you were in synagogue and the rabbi wanted you to turn to Psalm 22, they would say, "Open up to my God, why have you forsaken me?" So it is safe to assume that by listing the title on the cross, Jesus is not only echoing David's words of feeling forsaken by God, as he is literally punished for the sins of the world, but he is also referencing the entire psalm itself, which makes sense considering the rest of its parallels.
Right. Like Psalm 22 mentions, all who see me mock me, they hurl insults, shaking their heads. In Matthew chapter 27, it says that those passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their heads and saying, "You who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. Come down from the cross if you are the Son of God." In the same way, the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the elders all mocked him.
Yeah, and one of the mockings that take place during the crucifixion in Matthew 27, verse 43, says he trusts in God. Let God rescue him now if he wants him. For he said, "I am the Son of God."
Wow, this is almost exactly out of Psalm 22, which says, he trusts in the Lord. They say, let the Lord rescue him.
Yeah, and Psalm 22 also describes the physical suffering of Jesus almost to a T. The most notable is that it states, "They pierced my hands and feet." Obviously, we know that this happened to Jesus on the cross, but it is especially notable that it's listed here in this psalm because this psalm would have been written before the invention of crucifixion.
Wow, that's incredible. And it doesn't even end there. Psalm 22 even mentions experiencing extreme thirst, and we all know that on the cross, Jesus says, "I thirst." And Psalm 22 says, "They divide my clothes among them and cast lot for my garment." This also takes place at the crucifixion, as the Roman soldiers who crucified Jesus also cast lot for his clothes.
Yeah, the parallels here are truly incredible. And perhaps the most important is how the psalm ends. In verse 24, the psalmist states that God has listened to his cry, and he praises him for the deliverance that will be provided. And we know that the story of the crucifixion does not end on Good Friday, but Jesus is also delivered from death on Resurrection Sunday. Perhaps one of my favorite parallels in the ending of Psalm 22 is that it states, "Future generations will be told about the Lord. They will proclaim his righteousness, declaring to a people yet unborn, he has done it." I love that phrase, "he has done it," because it is strikingly similar to what Jesus' last words are on the cross. It is finished. Both speak to the incredible accomplishment of the cross to achieve our salvation, and this is what we proclaim for now and all the generations to come.
Bro, the Bible be freaking Bible.